Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
I'm a stupid piece of trash.
And I am a slut for bra and panties.
Welcome to episode 297, WWF Monday Night RAW.
Monday Night RAW. Woo! Coming off of Mania. Day after Mania. Post-Mania crowd. Will this be the day that everybody goes wild after Mania and starts the trend?
I mean, it was a big Mania. So you'd like to think they'd follow it up.
Yep.
So this is the 253rd episode of Raw, produced by WWF. It would take place on March 30th, 1998, from the Pepsi Arena in Albany, New York, with an attendance of 11,202. The show received a TV rating of 3.8.
Nice.
While Nitro got a 4.2.
Damn.
So, still in 83 weeks at this point.
Yeah. When you said Pepsi Arena, I just wanted to start singing Cult of Personality.
Yeah.
But I held back.
Pepsi Arena. That would have been an easy substitution for my little culinary adventure this week. That would have just been
Just grab a couple of cans of Pepsi.
This tells me I should have just read through the notes beforehand.
But hey, I mean,
keeps it fresh.
I don't imagine Pepsi is from Albany, but we don't have to look that up now. We'll save it for later.
That's right.
Well, since we know you didn't get Pepsi for us,
I did not.
What did you do?
Well, we're back in New York. We're up here in Albany, and I did what I do, where I jumped on the old computer and said, what the hell is Albany famous for? What kind of foods do they like up there? And apparently they're big on their fish fries. I had contemplated and planned to... There's this place in Albany called Ted's Fish Fry, and I guess they have these incredible fish sandwiches. And I was going to go to a place here in the city, but we had a stormy day today, and earlier when I looked them up, they said they were open until 9 o'clock, and it showed that they were open. And then when I went to order, they suddenly were temporarily closed. So I'm assuming that they either lost power or just decided to go home for the day because the rain scared business away.
Sad for us.
Yep. So I had to make a swerve, and I had to swing by the store anyway to grab something. And we're in New York. New York is known for their apples.
Oh.
So,
Big ones.
Big ones, exactly. I did not get a big apple this time. I actually got half an apple pie. Because it's New York, it's not technically the Big Apple, but it's known for its apples, and
they're not growing many apples in the Big Apple.
It's the holiday season, so another reason. Have some pie. Pie is always best around the holidays, in between Thanksgiving, Christmas, up until New Year's, and then put it away until it's time for it to come back again.
Yeah.
This was nothing, no fancy name brand pie, nothing out of the freezer section. This just came out of our local grocer bakery section. Homeland, formerly where the carrots are. That is seriously their old slogan. Homeland, where the carrots are.
Is that really it?
Yeah. From like the 80s, 90s, that was one of their slogans.
It's so weird.
Yep. They had a jingle that went on the TV and everything that went for it. But yeah, I just grabbed one of their simple half of an apple pie and then went and grabbed some Bluebell ice cream, because if you're going to have apple pie, you may as well have it a la mode. Popped it in the microwave on medium heat and warmed it up for about 2 minutes. That way it was warmed but not piping hot, enough to soften the ice cream and make a little melted ice cream around it. Yeah, it's your simple apple pie. Like I said, it's a holiday season. Why the fuck not?
I mean, no.
Mariah Carey's playing on your radio. You may as well have a sliced pie.
I ain't complaining. It was delicious on my end.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I love a good apple pie.
I might have to go home and watch
cobbler.
Little Miss Sunshine or something. Or American Pie.
Is Little Miss Sunshine a holiday movie?
No.
Oh.
But she gets a slice of apple pie. Alamoti, as she says. But I took a bite. It doesn't make any sound. You just get to hear me talk with my mouth full.
Well, something that would happen right around the same time as this Raw, NSYNC would release their debut album in the United States the week before.
Take it away, boys.
Yep.
I don't have much to say. Outside of, I prefer Backstreet Boys. But I didn't have these albums. Like, my sister had them. So I know the songs, and it was inescapable. But I was never... Like, the only boy band CD I ever really had was Boyz II Men 2.
It's a good song.
And then,
good song. Good CD.
Yeah, at this point, I was no longer particularly interested.
Let's see.
I Want You Back.
Yeah, Tearing
Up My Heart.
Here We Go Again. Or just Here We Go.
I think Tearing Up My Heart might be my favorite NSYNC song because it sounds like a Backstreet Boys song.
God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You. I Drive Myself Crazy. Yeah, they had a long stretch with this album because I think it technically debuted overseas in 97, but it stretched until 99.
Yeah, they released it in Germany beginning of 97.
It's weird how those boy band albums do that. I guess it's the Lou Pearlman effect.
I was going to say, yeah, Lou Pearlman had a plan.
Yeah, it worked.
Pearlman
Do you
knew what he
think
was doing.
NSYNC was more popular because it was new, or did they have the cuter crop of boys? Because they definitely didn't have better songs.
Cuter crop of boys.
Okay, because there's no way they have a better songs.
I've always said this. NSYNC, they have Justin and JC are the most talented boy band members out of both bands.
Yeah.
But
I believe you.
Like Brian Luttrell from Backstreet Boys was good, but he obviously didn't have a solo career.
Is that the one that kind of looked like a more handsome David Schwimmer?
No.
That's Kevin.
That's his cousin Kevin. Brian is the other blonde.
I feel like NSYNC gets dropped down a little bit because they had the guy with the stupid like beads in his hair. And he was in
Don't hate on Chris Kirkpatrick.
Yeah. He's who's keeping NSYNC alive these days.
I think he was the least
He's
cute.
He's like one man
well,
NSYNC.
Him and Fat One
Joey Fatone.
have teamed up with a couple people from Boyz II Men.
Oh, yeah?
And they're doing
a boy band supergroup?
And a boy band supergroup, yeah.
That's horrific and funny. So it's like the two least attractive men from NSYNC and Backstreet Boys teamed up with two of the only three members at this point of Boyz II Men.
But it makes me wonder which two of the three.
I mean, it's Sean
I don't know which one left.
And the...
Wanye?
Sean was the skinny one, right?
Yeah.
I had a friend as a kid, and his dad looked like Sean. But although his dad was white, they did look similar.
Wanya Morris, and I believe Sean.
Yeah, I know Sean's name because he looks like my friend's dad, but the other guys, I don't remember their names.
And I think it was
just because people used to call me Shanye.
And I think it's Drew from 98 Degrees is the other member.
Is that the other Lachey?
Yeah, that's Nick's
the younger brother. Yeah. I always forget about 98 Degrees.
Most people did.
I mean, hey, they had a better run than LFO.
It's true.
LFO had one song.
Do you remember that song?
Of course I do. It's a unfortunate earworm. I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah. Lyrical genius right there.
Yeah. Chinese food makes me sick is still maybe the funniest lyric from a pop song.
I actually heard that this morning as I was doing a scroll on Facebook. Somebody had posted that, and that's what they had posted was, "You're never going to see a lyrical genius like this again."
I mean, I kind of agree. It's pretty good. Because it's just like completely out of context. Yeah. It doesn't really have anything to do with the song.
Sing about Larry Bird's jersey and... Oh, the good days.
Do they really sing about Larry Bird's jersey?
Yeah.
They make a reference to the number 33 or something? Yep. Really? What is it? You remember? I always just think of like, I know the chorus in my head melody-wise, but it's like, I just know the Chinese food part, and I like girls. And then it's like, in my head, it's like, okay. Just fill it in with ad lib.
Let's see. Hip hop marmalade spick and span. Met you one summer and it all began. You the best girl that I ever did see. The great Larry Bird, Jersey 33.
What does that have to do with me?
When you take a sip, you buzz like a hornet. Billy Shakespeare wrote a whole bunch of sonnets. Call me Willie Whistle, 'cause I can't speak, baby. Something in your eyes went and drove me crazy.
Incredible stuff.
Yeah, as soon as I heard the lyric, or the line, hip-hop marmalade spick and span, it took me back to laughing my ass off in my car.
That's great stuff.
But it had a great melody.
It did.
But anyway, yeah.
But NSYNC had a whole bunch of hits.
I have gone to an NSYNC concert. It's actually one of my favorite concert experiences ever. I totally went in not expecting to enjoy it, so that's... So my expectations were very low.
You didn't go in as like a fan.
I got a ticket because I was nice enough to be my sister's chaperone, basically. Yeah. My younger sister's chaperone to it. We were up in the upper area, and they basically got onto a U-shaped stage that then raised up and was equal to the second area.
Yeah,
and they would walk around, and they basically were like, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the original boy bands, and then they went on to proceed to do covers of some Beatles songs and Jackson 5.
New Edition.
Yeah.
So better have done New Edition, Daniel.
Yeah,
so,
but it's like the Beatles, like people that wrote incredible songs.
Yeah, exactly.
And played instruments, or the Jackson 5 who were like incredibly talented musicians.
Yeah, so like they made an impression on me.
Yeah, but for sure.
You know, honoring what came before. You know,
always never got to see them. I got to do the opposite. I was my niece's chaperone she won tickets to see the Backstreet Boys Millennium Tour show in Tampa. So we won airfare and hotel to Tampa. Mandy Moore was the opening act. And kind of the same thing. It was a fun show. It was more than I expected it to be. I didn't really care for Mandy Moore. I never really cared for her as a singer.
She's not a great singer.
No, she grew on me as an actress, but as a singer, I didn't really care for her. But
Candy was catchy. I mean, you know,
that was the song that was popular at the time. So
that's the only one.
I got to watch her lip sync it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, they entered the show on hoverboards, and yeah, it was fun. But I've always wanted to go see NSYNC or Justin Timberlake, and haven't made it to it yet. I was supposed to, or
JT's coming here soon.
Was contemplating going a handful of years ago, and then wasn't able to make it, and ended up going to a Thunder game and sat behind Beyonce and Jay-Z instead. So
that's probably cooler.
It worked out. Here, I had my celebrity encounter.
You dropped those names that you just dropped for us.
Okay. He was Kevin Durant's manager at the time, so he had to be at the game.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, JT, he's coming back sometime soon. I might go see because I believe some of the tickets are discounted now after his run-in with the law, because also a guy who famously gets drunk in public and smoked weed in public gets in trouble for alcohol, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my god, we can't go listen to him anymore.
Also, I think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that he hasn't dropped any big hits in a long time, and his audience is not younger. It's like your Taylor Swift or Olivia Rodrigo or Ariana Grande still has a younger audience, whereas a Justin Timberlake, he's fucking 40. He could drop a great song tomorrow, but you're not going to get a 12-year-old girl to care about it. So probably it's going to be a cheaper ticket. He doesn't have the catalog that Pearl Jam has, where it still costs $180 to get in the door because they've written great music and have a huge fan base.
He basically was going to perform his first album and then one song off the other three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no shade by any means, but Justin Timberlake is not Oasis. Or Pearl Jam. It's when you write pop music, your audience fades.
Those are tickets no one can afford.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to see Pearl Jam as someone who's not a huge Pearl Jam fan, but I love the first record. I love plenty of the singles. I had some of the albums as a kid, but $180, I'm it's just too much for me to get into the place.
I didn't realize what their name stood for until many years later.
Originally, they wanted to be called Mookie Blaylock because they're all big basketball fans.
Yeah.
But I think
Mookie Blaylock played at OU.
Oh, I did not know that.
At the time that they were going to be called that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bringing it back to Oklahoma.
Hell yeah. And now off to Albany.
That's right.
Yeah.
In over 100 countries in 7 different languages.
Hola.
We get paper clippings from around the United States showing that WrestleMania was in the mainstream media, along with highlights from the show.
This weird, Olympic music. I was confused.
That was just Kurt Angle's music, but he's not here yet. It was wild that they were showing actual clips.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, because I'm used to watching
still photos.
Yeah, not getting get the still photos and not being able to get the pay-per-view. Because I jump in as a kid, probably halfway through this year or something. But yeah, the full clips, because we've seen WCW show whole pay-per-views, at least anything moderately important that happened on a pay-per-view in full clips in WWE.
Here's
it's not how I remember them doing it.
Tune in for the replay tomorrow.
Yeah,
We're not going to give you the entire thing today.
I mean, it's a smarter way to do it.
Yep.
We get the opening package with, the abandoned building, pyro going off. There's a ring with people fighting in it. Before Jim Ross welcomes us to the show.
With lots more pyro.
Joined by Michael Cole.
Oh my God.
Where they preview the matches we will see tonight.
And guys, we've seen the signs grow in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Signs are up tonight.
Oh, yeah.
The
first one I saw was, Mr. McMahon is my bitch.
God damn it. I love a good sign.
And speaking of Vince, he makes his way to the ring with a brand new WWF Championship belt. Has a globe in the middle. And he can't hear himself while talking on the mic. Because,
crowd is hot.
Before introducing Stone Cold Steve Austin.
With booze, of course, for the chairman and CEO.
I was like, what are you talking about?
They're hot. they're hot in the angry way.
Yeah.
And he comes out with the Winged Eagle title belt. But as Stone Cold makes his way into the ring, he sees the new belt and he rips it off of Vince's shoulder and begins to celebrate with it.
Throws the other one on the ground.
Now Vince has more to say than just congrats. He also wants to clear up some things he may have said. That he's proud of Austin becoming champ and representing the company. That with his mental prowess and Stone Cold's physical prowess, Austin can one day become the greatest WWF champ. And Stone Cold responds that he just wants to cut through the BS. Knowing that McMahon hates him and Austin hates Vince right back. There will not be a we. You're not going to mold me. What you see is what you get. McMahon comes back that he's incapable of hate.
I believe he believes that.
Yeah.
That he finds Stone Cold to be a swell guy. And that he loves him. With Austin asking, what did you just say?
I mean, the look on his face, he's just like, I got you. Now we're going to embarrass you.
You're swell, bro. You're swell.
And Vince stammers as Stone Cold is adamant about making him say it again. With McMahon finally reiterating that he loves him. Only to have meant it as a figure of speech and tries to move on. But Austin doesn't want to move on. He wants to know what he meant. So Vince says it off mic, but Stone Cold makes him say it into the mic so everyone can hear. Only to follow up by saying that he loves McMahon too. Austin goes on to say that now that we got the BS out of the way, he assures Vince he isn't going to change. He will continue to raise hell and make McMahon's hair go gray. Vince then says that they can do this the easy way or the hard way, causing Stone Cold to want to know the definition of both. With McMahon responding that the easy way is to be flexible, to adapt, which is common in business. Or you can go the hard way, with Vince telling Austin he will end up doing things McMahon's way anyways, so we don't need to even discuss that. Stone Cold takes a moment, think about everything, before turning and nailing Vince with a stunner. followed by asking the crowd to give him a hell yeah if they want him to continue doing things the hard way.
Hell yeah.
Which, of course, gets a massive cheer, while officials come out to help McMahon to the back. We then go to a commercial about the encore of WrestleMania, before coming back to see what just happened in the ring, and then seeing Vince being tended to in the back, where he's drinking some water and looking quite baffled. We come back from commercial, and we got our first match. The Los Boricuas of Jesus Castillo and Jose Estrada versus Legion of Doom 2000 of Road Warrior Hawk and Road Warrior Animal with Sonny. And the Legion of Doom take it to the Boricuas to start, with Animal delivering a power slam and a clothesline to send Jose to the floor, followed by a jumping shoulder block from Hawk to Jesus.
The Boricuas are looking very plain clothes.
They always look.
I mean, they typically do, but usually their plain clothes match each other with their khaki pants and their wife beaters. This time they were just wearing. It was like they didn't know they were supposed to wrestle. That they
were ready to go.
Said, "Hey, you guys go down to the ring real fast."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were gonna go to the grocery store, but I guess we're about to do a job.
The Road Warriors then take Castillo up to his shoulders to nail a doomsday device for the pin and the win.
Great sell of the Doomsday device. Full flip off the shoulders. Gotta give it to him for that.
Yeah.
Post-match, Sonny takes the mic to call them Legion of Doom 2000. So I guess this is technically the first time that they've actually been called that.
Yeah, last night it was like Legion of Doom now with Sonny, and they had like new gear.
Yeah, and I think they were calling the new LOD or something like that.
Yeah. But here they're LOD 2000, and it's an era of twisted steel and sex appeal.
That's right.
I mean, how can you argue with that?
You can't.
Sonny still looks great. Legion of Doom will always get a pop. They could come out in wheelchairs to a pop.
They might have, had they still
been around. Been around. One more point about LOD. LOD is the only tag team that can get cheers over Sonny, which is genius.
True.
Because they're always going to get a huge pop, and that was the issue with Sonny and these new teams. It's like, well, we don't really know these guys very well, but we like looking at her. With LOD, it's like, we love these guys, and she's like a bonus to it. This is the correct application of her. You just didn't have a tag team.
The Smoking Guns were so overlooked by Sonny being in front of them that they had to break up.
Again, the body donnas and everything. It's like, but Legion of Doom, any arena in the country, they're going to get a huge ovation. And Sonny is just a cherry on the top of that situation.
We go to Kevin Kelly, who's in the security office of the arena, and he lets us know that McMahon has called the police, wanting Austin to be arrested. We then get the WWF Legends endorsing Attitude Era Superstars commercial again.
Always good.
Which we saw last week on WrestleMania. We then go back to the arena where we see a replay of the Stunner again, before going to the back with Kevin Kelly once more, where he says that the Disciples of Apocalypse have let Stone Cold know that the police are on the way. But Austin said, "I ain't going anywhere. Vince don't have the balls to have me arrested."
Skinheads stick together, I tell you.
JR with a really, really bad line says, if Vince keeps going down, we might have to call this Titanic Sports. And I was like, damn, what a bad line. Normally he hits, and if they don't hit, but they're normally never not such stinkers. It's like a true bomb of a line.
Yeah.
And it stuck out like a sore thumb because he's one of the best announcers of all time when it comes to wrestling. I got to keep him honest.
So we go to our second match. Chainz versus Kurrgan with Jackyl. And the two men lock up, but the big man just tosses Chainz, kicks and backdrops him before choking him on the ropes.
They tell us that Kurrgan is unbeaten, but I don't think that anybody cares.
Nope.
And we go split screen to see McMahon, Gerald Briscoe, and Sergeant Slaughter in the parking lot.
And they prove to us they don't care.
Waiting on the cops. And Kurrgan telegraphs another back body drop, so Chainz kicks him away and attempts several clotheslines to no effect, only for the big man to return the favor to knock the disciple down. Chainz avoids a corner charge and delivers a big boot, but Kurrgan still doesn't go down. So the disciple tries for another, where he runs into a big boot, allowing the big man to nail the paralyzer, which is the claw.
The claw's gonna get you.
For the pin. And the win. Post-match, Kurrgan just drags Chainz to the back with the paralyzer still locked on.
Yeah, it's like, I see what you're going for, but this ain't the guy to do it.
No. And is this where you say, and this was the last time?
No,
Okay.
I don't think we're there yet. We're gonna have to
Chainz.
We're gonna have to Kurrgan a bit, and Chainz a bit, probably more too.
So we go to the back to see that the police have arrived as we head to commercial, where we get Mankind laying on a couch talking to a therapist as we see action figures fighting. Pick up WWF Slammers.
Yeah, action figures is the Jack's era. Some really crummy action figures that sold a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We come back to the arena where the cops and Vince, with a bit of a swagger, make their way to Austin's dressing room. We then go to the ring, and Tennessee Lee is there to introduce JEFFJARRETT, who then arrives on a horse with a jacket and saddle lit up.
It's flashy. It looks like walking around a carnival game area.
Well, I mean, you got old
TL
Colonel Sanders out there, TENNESSELLE announcing him. That's just the worst. This segment right here makes me angry for this moment, because that's the stupidest name ever, Tennessee Lee.
It's funny, but it's very WWF.
Yeah, it is. It's like they just ripped it right.
Well, he was
the
Colonel Parker.
Colonel Parker.
Yeah, and that was much better name.
Yeah, well, isn't Parker and Lee, weren't they the Union and the
Confederacy?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it makes sense there, but yeah, just Jeff Jarrett.
That was Grant
Was it?
Lee.
Yeah, Ulysses
S.
That's right, it was.
Robert
E. Lee.
But Tennessee Lee still, he flubs the Jeff Jarrett line.
Yeah, and he just reminds me of old.
Get some letters wrong.
What's the big rooster?
Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn
Leghorn rules. But he is a cartoon. We are in a world that is still not rid of its cartoons.
Yep. And enter Jeff Jarrett with a flashy jacket, glasses, hat on a horse.
Hey, he thinks it's cool.
So we get our third match. Aguila versus Jeff Jarrett.
Ain't he great?
Double J attacks before the bell, but Aguila reverses a whip, only to telegraph a back body drop, allowing Jarrett to hit a swinging neckbreaker. And Tennessee Lee joins commentary as Double J nails a clothesline and a running straddle, using chokes on the ropes before a vertical suplex. Aguila then reverses a whip, but runs into a boot in the corner to knock him backwards, only to then leapfrog a charging Jarrett and deliver a spinning heel kick. Aguila with multiple kicks, a clothesline, and a body slam, followed by going to the top for a corkscrew moonsault, where Double J rolls the wrong way, so Aguila still lands on his back.
Yeah.
But Jarrett hops right up to lock in the figure four for the submission
And
the win. Post-match, Steve Blackman runs down to attack Double J, booting him in the head and knocking Jarrett out of the ring with a clothesline. And Tennessee Lee acts like he's going to go after Steve, which allows Jarrett to return back to the ring to knock Blackman down, and giving them the chance to escape to the back.
And they say that Jeff Jarrett is the only person to pin Blackman in the WWF. Like, I don't know if that's true, but they're they're half-assing some Blackman credibility.
Yes.
Because right now he's just kind of this like lone wolf that is sometimes teamed with Ken Shamrock, who's super over. It's not doing wonders for Steve Blackman, who's obviously a badass.
We go to the back where the police are walking Stone Cold out of his locker room, handcuffed. And Austin's yelling at Vince, but McMahon just yells back that he deserves to be arrested and that he's going where he belongs.
Can you believe day after Mania where he wins the belt, this is the first Stone Cold arrest? It's fucking so genius, so simple. Fucking, yeah.
It shows how bad these wrestling cops are just from the very start. Because they can't contain Stone Cold enough to walk into the police car without him rushing and almost headbutting Vince into I don't remember what the hell it was, just some of the backstage equipment.
Yeah. But the tea leaves, you know. So last night we saw the Attitude Era. That was the kick of the field goal, and this is the field goal that wins the game. It's it just keeps predicting the future as the show goes on.
Stone Cold warns McMahon he will get out soon as they show the cops place him in the car as we go to commercial. We come back to a replay of what just happened, followed by Vince and crew making their way to the ring. And McMahon takes a mic to say he owes the fans an explanation and asks for respect from the crowd. But the boos just get loud. Mm-hmm. And Vince continues that in the state of mind that Austin is in, a 24-hour cooling off period was in order. That he gave Stone Cold a choice, and Austin made his. So McMahon made his choice as well, before swaggering his way to the back.
So fucking good. He drops the mic and just Vince with the big shoulder swing.
Arms a swing.
Yeah, doing the walk that Tennessee Lee should be doing.
JR and Cole then talk about Triple H making an announcement later in the program, followed by sending it back to comments that were made earlier in the evening by Helmsley. You might think that last night DX was off. Well, tonight, Triple H is going to drop the hammer. The WWF, as you know it, comes to an X-rated end tonight. We then go to the Nation of Domination in the back, where JR asks The Rock about last night, only for Rocky to tell him to shut his mouth and know his role.
Almost there.
Rock is upset that Shamrock attempted to end his career, but he's still standing like the man and a half he is. That he's still the champ, and he's gonna lay the smackdown on Ken tonight. Rocky then turns to Faarooq to tell him that his eyes are open, because if not for the militant, he would not be the champ and be as successful as he is, thanking him and saying that after tonight, the nation will be stronger. And we go to commercial, coming back to the opening package once again as it's Warzone.
Hour 2.
Yep.
And we get highlights of the first hour, including the Stunner, LOD 2000, and Austin being arrested. Before we go to our fourth match, the Nation of Domination of The Rock and Faarooq, with D'Lo Brown, and Mark Henry, versus Ken Shamrock and Steve Blackman. And the militant looks to start versus Ken, but Rocky decides that he wants to start and tags in, only to turn and tag Faarooq back in before locking up.
Rocky sucks. And The Rock did come down to the ring, rocking a bit of, no pun intended, a limp.
Shamrock and the militant finally get going with Faarooq hammering away on Ken, nailing a power slam, but Shamrock responds with furious fists and feet, followed by tagging in Steve, who misses a kick, allowing the militant to hit a snap suplex.
I love Ken Shamrock.
Faarooq then misses an elbow drop, so Blackman delivers a roundhouse kick and a snapmare before bringing Ken back in for a clothesline. Shamrock also knocks The Rock down, followed by returning to the militant with a back elbow and a dropkick. Steve returns with a dropkick as well, but tags Ken back in to work over Faarooq in the corner, only to run right into a spine buster, allowing the militant to make the crawl to his corner for the Rock has had enough and he's out of here.
Great heel stuff. Lifts
Walking
his hand up
to the back, leaving everyone else at ringside confused. Faarooq is taken down with another clothesline, but fights back to get Faarooq up for the Dominator, only for Ken to slip out the back and shove the militant into a turbo, followed by stumbling his way into a belly-to-belly suplex by Ken for the pin and the win. Post-match, Faarooq grabs a mic to tell The Rock that no boy grows up to be a man when they cross him. You like all those fancy clothes? Tonight you can wear an ass whooping. And Rocky makes his way back out with the two men jawing at each other till they start brawling inside the ring, forcing the rest of the nation to break it up. So Rock goes to leave once more. And the militant says it's not over, that Rocky needs to get his ass back down here, when the rest of the nation assaults Faarooq.
Oh my God.
And the Rock makes his way back in, delivers a rock bottom, and calling the militant a piece of trash. That Faarooq was never the leader, as Rocky is not only the leader, but the ruler of the nation. And the remaining members do the fist. And
New nation has arrived.
That's right.
The Rock does say some weird stuff where he kicks him when he's down and he says, "Take that back to Haiti where you come from." It's like, weird.
Well, that's because you remember when Faarooq first entered, he was...
Yeah, but it's just like, what, that seems like a bit of like slander, but you're in like a group that is the nation.
Probably something political too, because
domination.
The Clintons in Haiti. And, yeah.
Maybe. But it's just weird because it's like, oh, this is a group of black Muslims.
Yeah.
WWF Rewind, presented by Dial 10321.
Oh, the good old collect call days.
Yeah.
I forgot about this one.
So we get video of Pete Rose taunting Boston at WrestleMania when Kane would come to the ring and tombstone him. We then get a replay of what just happened with the nation when Triple H and Chyna make their way to the ring.
Break it down.
Helmsley states a lot can happen in 24 hours and wants to start with Tyson, having asked Shawn if he was sure that Iron Mike was really a part of DX.
Is he with us?
But what he heard back was, "Don't worry, kid. I have it covered." Triple H tells the Heartbreak Kid that he dropped the ball, so Helmsley is going to pick it up, and the ball is in his court. He will take care of the worries and problems. He will make the decisions. This is the genesis of DX, and tonight I will form the DX Army, taking care of things that should have been taken care of from the beginning. The first thing you do when you start an army is to look to your blood, your buddies, your friends, the clique, before pointing at the entrance, and out comes the Kid.
That's right.
Who we haven't seen since Nitro, October 27th, 1997, episode 280.
The crowd goes nuts. This is how you win.
Yep.
A guy that didn't really mean much over there.
Nope.
Means a whole lot here tonight.
You stole the first member of the NWO.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first fourth member.
Yes.
And now all the members are fourth members.
And they literally didn't know what they were going to call him at this point. So they never say X-Pac during this promo.
Yeah.
But
Kid.
That's who we're talking about. So I'm going to call him Pac.
Yeah.
Probably from now on.
Yeah. Formerly 6.
Helmsley 1, 2, 3 Kid. The Kid. Sorry.
Helmsley continues that when you have been an indentured servant for 2 years, you have some things to say, giving the mic to Pac to raise some hell.
Oh, when does he?
The Kid says he has something to get off his chest, that he heard Hogan claim that he couldn't cut the mustard. Well, Hollywood, you suck. Yeah. So we're all Xbox fans right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the whole crowd is into it. And it's like, yeah, all he did was say he sucked, but saying the quiet thing out loud means a lot sometimes.
And he follows that up by giving some advice to Hogan, saying, "Don't stop short, or Bischoff will go so far up your ass, he will know what Hogan had for breakfast."
Mm-hmm. There's a very big pop for that one, too, because it's lewd.
Pat continues that he was sitting at home when he got a call from Triple H, saying he needed some help, before saying that Hall and Nash would be here with us if they weren't being held hostage by WCW.
My God.
You know that's true, Eric Bischoff.
This is the new beginning for DX, and we're here to rip ass on the WWF.
That means fart.
Starting tonight, followed by Helmsley having 2 words for everybody. Suck it! Time for the Bop It Slam of the Week. We see Sable nailing a powerbomb on Luna.
Bop it.
Twist
it.
Crazy. DX got more over here than they were the last 2 months of them being a thing, and it's without Sean, and it's DX shirts are on sale tomorrow, and they're flying off the shelves.
JR then sends it to a video of an upcoming superstar, where we hear moaning, and we see a gentleman lounging on a couch watching TV.
Damn.
Hello, ladies. His name is Val Venus, and he was previewing his newest flick called Live Hard, before saying Bruce Willis is good, but he's great, that he's the real deal, and nah, not your Al.
Yeah.
No one has what he's been blessed with, so when he penetrates the WWF, the ladies will be squealing with delight, and they will get all of Val Venus.
Screen reads, Val Venus is coming.
Yes.
Jesus.
That was almost my name. Val Venus isn't the only one coming.
It's also funny because you hear the moaning and he says, damn, I'm good. But it's he's just watching pornography that he made with himself as the, male lead.
Yeah, the Live Hard thing, my brain had to think too much on that he was referencing Die Hard. But...
Yeah. It's weird, too, because, I guess maybe Die Hard 3 came out recently.
Possibly.
At this point in time, but, the Die Hard is, over a decade old. At this point.
It's a reference.
It is, for sure. Yeah.
The bigger question...
Die Hard.
Die Hard's probably playing after this on USA.
It's possible.
No, the TNT.
Oh,
they have Lethal Weapon.
Oh, yeah.
So the bigger question, though, is Shane, Val Venus?
Val Venus as Val Venus? No. Val Venus in a couple of years in Right to Censor.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's an authority figure that wants to tell me what I can and can't do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not when he's a gross cartoon porn star. I mean, either way.
Honestly, for me, the thing I hated the most about Val Venus was the hair. He does not look good with the long, curly, greasy hair. Yeah, once he had the haircut, it made him look more... It gave him that...
He's got a good face.
He's got a good face. He was going for the Rick Rude thing, and, granted, when Rick Rude first started, he had the shaggier hair.
But he also looked better with short hair?
Yeah. Had he followed suit with Rick Rude and just cut the hair off from the beginning, I would have been all up for Val Venus.
Val Venus is really fun on Twitter.
Yeah. We're not talking current day Val Venus.
No.
I'm just saying that it's fun.
Yeah, Val Venus and Sean Morley are way different. So remember that name for trivia, Sean Morley.
Well, let me take a photo of that with my mental Rolodex.
Big dick, Sean Morley.
So we go to our fifth match. Taka, Michinoku versus Marvelous Marc Mero.
Did you guys get a kick out of
Sable?
Yeah.
How Taka was the one who showed up immediately after Val Venus?
Yeah, I mean, I laughed out loud. I was like, oh my God, the first...
Foreshadowing.
Before the match even starts, Luna comes out and screeches about wanting a rematch with Sable, responding that she can have any kind of match she wants. So Vachon starts to explain the stipulations, calling it an evening gown match.
Mm-hmm.
And Luna continues that she's going to embarrass Sable.
Come on, Matt. Talk like Luna.
I want to talk the rest of the night. Gonna embarrass Sable by stripping her down to her bra and panties. That is, if she wears them. Calling Sable a slut. And Marc does not like this idea, but Sable responds that she's already kicked Vachon's ass and is happy to do it again.
Anytime, anywhere.
So the bell rings with Michinoku attacking with a spinning heel kick, a drop kick, and a leaping forearm, followed by running the ropes again, only for Mero to kick him and nail a powerbomb.
Ooh.
Marc with lefts and rights before tossing Taka high up into the air, sending him crashing. down to the mat.
I mean, Mero's like, what, 80 pounds bigger than Taka Michinoku?
Yeah. It makes no sense for Taka to be in this match.
Yeah, like the power bomb and like the air that Taka gets is pretty wild.
Followed by chokes with tape, which upsets Sable. And the married couple argue at the apron, allowing Michinoku to roll up Mero for a 2 count. When Sable continues to argue with the ref, Marc goes low and finishes off Taka with a TKO for the pin and the win. Now post-match, Sable checks on Michinoku, which again upsets Marc, ordering her to leave, and they argue all the way to the back.
The TKO was kind of funny because he just isn't used to wrestling somebody as light as Taka, so he like goes a little too far.
A little bit.
But hey, we get the point.
All of a sudden, 3 Oriental, that's Ross's words, not mine, men jump in the ring and beat down Taka before escaping back out through the crowd as we head to commercial.
Who could it be now?
Those gentlemen were Dick Togo, Min's Teao, who we haven't seen either one of them since Barely Legal 97, episode 249, and Sho Funaka, who we haven't seen since Super J Cup Second Stage, episode 175.
I smell what's going on here.
Yeah, it was so quick because they each did like one power move to him and then bounced. And I was like, can I recognize any of these guys? But I didn't take the time to rewind. I might have been able to see.
You probably would have gotten Dick, definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe Sho, just because he. But Min's Teao, you probably.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't even recognize the name Min's Teao.
Me neither.
We come back from commercial to our 6th match. The new Midnight Express, a Bodacious Bart Gunn and Bombastic Bob Holly with Jim Cornette versus the Headbangers of Mosh and Thrasher for the NWA World Tag Team Championships. So, know why these are for the belts? The Headbangers had actually defeated the Rock and Roll Express about 6 weeks prior to have become champions. So that's why Mosh and Thrasher have the belts. And before the match starts, Corny introduces Dan Severn, who is going on over 3 years as the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion at the time.
It's crazy.
And if you listen to our Dusty Finishes, you would have heard us talk about Dan Severn. Just recently, actually.
Yep.
And as he makes his way to ringside, the action in the ring gets started, where Mosh hip tosses, arm drags, and tags his partner in for a double team back body drop to Bob, followed by a double clothesline to Bart. And Thrasher continues by drop kicking Gunn into Holly, who's being atomic dropped for them to bump heads. Bob then rakes the eyes to change the momentum, bringing Bart back for a suplex, only for Thrasher to float over and attempt an O'Connor roll. But Holly blind tags in to nail a swinging neckbreaker and a back elbow.
And Cornette is on commentary, just nailing it as
being
usual.
Corny.
I mean, yeah. He says everyone's shooting tonight, so I brought a shooter about Dan Severn. They point out that Ken Shamrock beat Dan Severn in combat before.
Once.
And in one time. But says even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes. Just all the things you know and love about him.
Gunn returns with right hands and a side slam, followed by a Bob elbow drop for a 2 count. And Holly keeps up the attack with strikes in the corner, slamming him down, and heads to the top, only to leap off right into a boot to the chin, allowing Thrasher to make the crawl for the hot tag.
How hot is it?
Mosh cleans house with right hands, scoop slams, drop kick to Bart, and a power slam of Bob, making the cover for the pin, and no Gunn makes the save. And everybody's brawling when Mosh goes for a mounted punches in a corner on Gunn, only for Holly to knock him off, followed by a rocket launcher by the Express for the pin and the win.
And new!
Post-match, Cornette whispers something in Severn's ear, who proceeds to enter the ring to deliver a belly-to-belly suplex and a double underhook slam to the Headbangers. The Beast then locks on a submission hold to Thrasher, until Corny calls him off as the crowd begins to chant for Shamrock.
Where you at, Kenny?
He's probably already back in his hotel.
Probably.
JR and the King, who joined commentary when Warzone started, I totally meant to mention that. Totally forgot.
Yeah.
Say they have a phone call.
Who could it be?
It's Austin. And he wants to tell them that Vince is a sorry son of a bitch.
Use one phone call to just call in and talk shit.
Yeah.
The
McMahon's gonna call a lawyer? Fuck that.
Belonged to Stone Cold. And it will not be a fun night for him next week, as he's going to whip his ass. We head to commercial, but when we return, the cage for the main event is being set up. When the lights go out, the organ plays, and out comes Kane and Paul Bearer. And Paul tells The Undertaker to behold his brother, asking if he believed that it was all over after last night. You're looking at the only person to kick out of the tombstone. Not just once, but twice. But he didn't kick out the third time, so he still lost. Taker has to change, having to face his flesh and blood one-on-one, with the big red machine beating him all over the ring with the world as witness. Bearer continues that after he returned to the hotel, he was awoken by a dream in which he saw a ring surrounded by fire.
Oh my God.
Seeing Kane standing all alone. So he challenges the dead man to step into the ring to face his brother one more time in a match where either the Big Red Machine or Undertaker will have to catch fire in an Inferno Unforgiven.
Oh, when he says, "Yes, Kane, I had a dream."
And Ross and Lawler talk about what just happened before showing us footage from earlier in the day where Chainsaw Charlie is being tended to in the trainer's room with a huge bruise on his hip.
Oh, no.
We then get the WrestleMania replay commercial again before returning to our 7th match. Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack versus the New Age Outlaws of Road Dogg Jesse James, Badass Billy Gunn for the WWF Tag Team Championships in a cage match.
I know, last night they just threw each other all over the place.
That's right.
So the Outlaws jump in the ring and everyone starts slugging it out, with Charlie getting his shirt ripped off and thrown into the steel by Badass. JR then tells us the reason that this match is actually happening. It's because the Outlaws were put into the wrong dumpster at WrestleMania.
That's true, we saw it. In very silly fashion, they were put into the wrong dumpster.
As Jack and Funk vertical suplex Gunn into the cage.
The cage of woe.
Leaving him hanging from the top, allowing Foley to hit a running elbow to the face.
Foley special.
This whole wrong dumpster thing just cracked me up.
Yeah.
Because it's a dumpster match.
We're about to find out why it's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's also called Charlie is hurt, and so they don't want to keep the belt on him.
Oh, yeah. He didn't need that belt anyways. But.
Is he ever not hurt?
Cactus Jack is then backdropped into the cage by Badass, while Chainsaw Charlie starts going off on both Outlaws, when Road Dogg begins choking Funk with tape to slow the momentum. Gunn hits a not-so-famouser on Jack before the Outlaws team up to handcuff Charlie's throat against the steel. So they literally connect handcuffs to the cage with under his chin, holding Charlie up basically by his throat.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because it turns out if you do the arms and legs, it's disrespectful to Jesus, and Kurt Angle won't stand for it.
Yeah. But if you hang him by the neck,
yeah, it's very
A-okay. Olympic approved.
Foley gets a double team hot shot into the ropes. The Outlaws try for another, only for Cactus Jack to counter into a double DDT, followed by reversing a powerbomb attempt into a catapult of Badass into the cage, who then stumbles right into a left hand from Funk, who's still strung up.
Yeah, but he's got the arm to poke the eyes, which I just loved him being, stapled to the cage essentially.
Yeah, everything but my poker finger.
Yeah.
Jack tosses James into the steel and begins to climb, but Gunn gives chase, with the two fighting atop the ropes when Badass is knocked down, causing him to crotch himself.
Bullets first.
DX then runs down as Cactus Jack is trying to make his way over the top of the cage, only for X-Pac to nail him with a chair shot to the back of the head multiple times,
Yeesh.
causing Foley to crash back down to the mat. The chair is thrown into the ring, allowing the Outlaws to spike piledrive Jack into it, followed by a Road Dogg worm for the pin and the win.
Such bad worms.
Yeah.
And
yet again.
Post-match, DX enters the ring, helping continue the beatdown of Cactus Jack.
I think we found our new members.
Even breaking the chair over his head.
I think they're part of the army.
Before hugs and crotch chops all around.
I think I know what's going on.
As Ross says his goodbyes, and we fade to black.
Yeah.
So I ask you, gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts of Monday Night Raw, March 30th, 1998?
It's truly crazy how much they packed into a 90-minute show. They made a fresh new thing, DX 2.0. The Rock turns on Faarooq. Stone Cold Steve Austin's arrests. All they had to do was just wait and let WCW continue to slip in their own shit.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. We talked about it at the WrestleMania 14 show. It's we've arrived, and it's no, we pulled up to the building, but I think we'd opened the door here tonight. This is not a show full of good matches, but it is littered with moments.
Yes, very, very much on the same page with that. Not full of big matches or anything like that, but lots of storyline development,
But everybody's hooked in already.
Yeah.
So everything that happens matters, and people are excited about it.
Yeah, they have their first swing in the Monday Night Wars for taking somebody from the other side, which, at the time it was totally unexpected. You've got what the hell is going to be happening with Austin and McMahon. You've got...
Yeah, their feud really kicked off. 3 members added to DX tonight.
Yeah,
this is DX. Shawn Michaels is not Generation X, really.
No, Shawn Michaels is Generation X. This is DX.
But yeah, Vince McMahon really just, he took it further in one night than WCW did in an entire year.
Mm-hmm.
Napoleon tactics.
Yeah.
Just sit in the cut, and he's when it's ready... It's we've been slow baking this cake, but we're about to decorate the shit out of it. They fucking decorated the shit out of it tonight.
You get a piece, and you get a piece, and you get a piece, and you get a piece.
Yeah, nobody left this unsatisfied.
I mean, this isn't a wrestling show. This is a sports entertainment show.
Yeah.
And I was thoroughly sports entertained.
Absolutely.
With some of the most memorable moments and events that changed the course of WWF.
Mm-hmm.
Even leading to them breaking the ratings war open in the next few weeks.
I mean, this show...
This is week 82.
Yeah, seriously, the WrestleMania 14 plus this the next night is the, last stake in the coffin almost. It's the tide is changed, and you can absolutely feel it just on this Monday night show.
See, part of me wants to go and watch the Monday Nitro from this night just to see...
Oh, I can't imagine.
Since it did a bigger rating, what exact garbage was thrown?
Piper and Hogan, I think, were on it. I think was the main event.
Yeah, but the whole thing is that they just have higher ratings at the moment. They're the cool show, and after tonight, there's no way they're the cool show.
It's not necessarily they're the cool show. They have the dumber crowd.
It's the next live show is because the next week is a tape show for Raw. And then the week after that is a live show. That live show is the first one to beat Nitro in 83 weeks.
Nice.
I
mean, you can't say they didn't fucking earn it.
And then
the WCW hasn't been.
And then from there, it's
trading
back and forth until January.
Yeah.
Well, we all know what happens, but
is it 99 or 2000 that they closed?
99.
Oh, okay.
So what now?
WCW.
January 4th, 1999.
Oh, you're talking as far as they...
Yeah, for some reason I thought it was... For some reason
I thought you said close. I'm like, no, that's 2001 or something like that. It was like the final Nitro.
Yeah.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? All right, fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So what are some of the best moments of this show? I mean, you get the three big ones.
It's where you just like close your eyes and point.
DX, Nation, Stone Cold.
Yeah, of course, Stone Cold is tied to McMahon.
Yeah.
Because he has a great performance as well. I thought it was funny that like Luna was the one that says, let's have a bra and panties match.
Yeah.
It's like,
I know.
It's like, that makes no sense, but obviously they're just
the
like,
actual wrestler.
just say the thing because that's what we want Sable to do. But, I mean, surprising was that, like, we all, Sean, X-Pac, can't remember his last name right now.
Waltman.
Well, man, we all like Waltman, but he comes out and cuts a promo that is, like, really simple, but people are so excited, and he doesn't say anything, like, incredible, but it all is just enough to get everybody's already excited. He almost could have said nothing, but he cuts that promo and it's like, oh, these are the biggest cheers he's ever gotten in his life to this point. And and it was enough to get me excited all these years later.
And he doesn't have to walk around in a crowd with a video camera.
Yeah.
I mean, technically lost in those three big angles that happen. I mean, Kurrgan shows up. Yeah. Which is a smaller thing, don't get me wrong. But, but it's just kind of crazy that one of these, that's a thing that shows up literally on the same episode as these other three big
and
momentous things.
I don't have that placed in my memory in 1998. In my mind, Kaientai was like early, mid-2000s. So the fact that they showed up this early, that kind of blows my mind.
I was surprised, obviously very surprised that this is the same night that Val Venus shows up when we're finally getting into the gutter. We get one of the like slimiest characters they've ever had. And then also, the huge surprise for me was that in one night, DX is a brand new thing. Mm-hmm. And with like 3 completely new members all in one evening.
I mean, they never said that Sean was done.
Huh. They just say he dropped the ball?
He just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Like, they never... So I just kind of wonder, like, do they ever say that at some point that he hurt himself and that he's retired? Or
I don't even think they have to.
Because I know he comes back as commissioner at some point.
He comes back as commissioner.
So maybe that's when they say something about it?
Yeah, because they have a...
I remember he comes back in a wheelchair, too, and gets a big pop with DX, but DX is already super over. And Sean hasn't been seen in a long time. Because I remember watching that show and my cousin explaining who he was, because I knew who DX was. But like my memory of wrestling as a kid was like Yokozuna, not the Shawn Michaels era. But
I mean, we'll see as we go forward.
Yeah. But it's wild, and like to end the show with your version of NWO like fully formed, and they don't keep adding people to it. This is your crew.
They do, all standing on top of the cage. They do it for an episode, and then you're not in DX anymore. You're just helping us out for the night, so we'll let you wear the green. Yeah.
It's more of a like they're like forcing it to be exclusive.
Kurt Angle joins the Shield for a pay-per-view.
Yeah. It's just a wrestling team up. Yeah, you know how it goes.
How about most disappointing?
The introduction of the bra and panties match. That's something I wish would never have been introduced into the wrestling world. Because
we all could say that.
Yeah. As visually stimulating as it was for a lot of people, it was horrible, awful, garbage, trash, shit that shouldn't be on the TV and considered wrestling. Because it dumbed down what women's wrestling was for way too long.
But it's also the era of Howard Stern on E, and as soon as 9 o'clock is over, every commercial is for Girls Gone Wild. Mm-hmm. We're about to get Jackass. Like, this is maybe one of the greatest eras of American culture, for good or bad. Yeah. But
the Springer crowd is about to take over the world.
Exactly. But so it's like, time and place.
I mean, you guys didn't love Tennessee Lee.
Yeah.
I
didn't really like him as Robert Parker either.
Yeah. I like Colonel Parker all right.
He's the same character here as he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only time I really enjoyed him was his little banter with Sherry, and then it seemed like he ruined Sherry for me too.
For sure, because they just weren't using her enough.
Yeah.
We didn't catch enough of the story. It just kind of seemed like a B plot that was used in C amounts.
Yeah. I know what's his name that plays the character. You know, he has a long history in wrestling, but him as this character does nothing really for anybody. It's just filler.
How about best performer of the night?
This could go a few different ways.
Is it Charlie for being hung up?
No, he's used to being tied
Austin
to something.
McMahon on the mic. But, like, in ring, it's kind of tough.
I mean, it's best performer. It could be whatever you want.
Yeah.
It could be the guy who held up the Vince McMahon
is my bitch.
Is my bitch. Sorry.
I like the one that said HB gay blows. It was early in the show. I mean, in ring, it was the new Midnight that was the most fun to watch.
I'm giving it to Triple H. Because this is where he officially took the reins as far as DX goes. And
he becomes a guy. Like an actual guy.
He made us buy in just from a segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good call. Because The Rock's been commanding an audience, and Austin's been commanding an audience, and Triple H has just kind of been. But now, and what better way for him to have that opportunity than to, bring in a former NWO member and add a team that's
the hottest tag team.
Yeah, the hottest tag team at the moment. Sure.
And how about most surprising?
That all of this happened in one night. You've got the reformation of
it's hard to pick a thing.
The new DX, the new Nation, the premiere of Val Venus, the premiere of Kai and Tai.
Premiere of Dan Severn.
Premiere of Dan Severn, yeah.
The cherry on the top for me was Val Venus because, like, really?
The first Austin in handcuffs.
Is this is the first Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This is what people expect in the Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Is this kind of show.
But this is like it's like we've been working our way towards this, but this is like, all right, well, we didn't knock the door down. We caught it on fire, and there's nothing left. The door is fully open.
Making their way to the ring.
It's trivia time. This week, the category is pay-per-view.
We're back, and it's time to play the feud. Let's have it.
So I will give you the last 5 matches of the show. You'll get 5 points if you guess the show that I'm giving you. With the first match I give you, decreases each time I give you a match.
And this is 1995.
1995.
Yes.
So the first match is Great Muta versus Paul Orndorff for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, shit. No, I'm good with next.
This is an era where...
All right, for 4 points.
I don't want to say it out loud.
Arn Anderson with Ric Flair versus Alex Wright for the WCW World Television Championship.
So this makes me feel like it's a clash, but then it could also not be a clash, and this could be that... What the fuck was that show called?
3 points.
Next
match.
Sure.
Ming with Colonel Robert Parker versus Road Warrior Hawk.
Tennessee Lee himself.
Sure, that was just a giveaway. Okay. What a match for your...
Well, I mean, I know where the show... I know what country the show took place in at this point. But I do not know the name of it.
I cannot think of what the fucking show was called. But then I don't know if I'm thinking of the right damn show. The one match was Arn Anderson and Alex Wright and Ric Flair?
No,
or Arn with Ric Flair?
Arn with Ric Flair versus Alex Wright.
What the hell was that show called? Where...
I'm just going to gamble.
Go for it.
3 points.
Slamboree 95.
That is correct.
I was way off.
Because I wanted to say Starrcade, but I was like, it wasn't a Starrcade, but it was a group show. And I don't know when Slamboree takes place, but I figured it might be like, this felt like a post January 4th Dome show. Like it could have been a February or a March, but I don't know when it actually took place.
What was the super show that they had where they've done like a Dark Side of the Ring on it, and they went to Korea.
Yeah, that's Korea. Yeah,
That's Collision in Korea.
Collision in Korea. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is that called?
In March.
Okay, so I did follow my thing, but I was like, I know it's not Starrcade, and I was like, Slamboree. I mean, I knew it wasn't a Havoc or like Stampede. Seems like it happens some years and not other years, but Slamboree is pretty consistent. So damn. I was
thinking it was either a Clash of the Champions or Collision in Korea.
Yeah. I didn't think it was a Clash. I didn't think they'd get moved over for a Clash in 95.
The final two matches of the show were Sting versus Big Bubba Rogers, and the main event was Hogan and Savage with Jimmy Hart and Renegade versus Ric Flair and Vader with Arn Anderson. So, one of those exciting
95
pay-per-views.
What a year for wrestling.
A year in wrestling.
Next week, Spring Stampede 1998.
After the incredible spectacle that was WrestleMania 14 and the show they followed it up with, what will WCW do?
Well, I mean,
on their next large pay-per-view.
Their last show wasn't as bad as the horrible show that was before it.
Yes,
so.
I was higher on the last show than you guys were, but I understood where you came from. It's kind of like, well, luckily this shit's not as flavorful. So it went down a little easier.
So music from this week's show is We're All Together Now by Jim Johnston. And New Age Outlaws won our main event, but they're now part of DX. So they actually were playing Break It Down as the credits were rolling by the DX band. So if you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there and rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcast at. Do as Michael says.
5 stars on the stars. Come on, this was a 5-star Raw.
Fuck yeah, it was. I'd even give it 6.
And if you have any questions, comments, concerns.
Ooh, we're going to Denver next. Yeah, if you have any ideas of what type of weed goes best in brownies in Denver, let me know. No, in all seriousness, just slide into our DMs. Give us a shout out. We want to hear from some listeners. We love the feedback, and we just watched a couple of kick-ass shows the last couple of episodes. What were some of your favorite things? If you were somebody who watched at this time back then, what's your first-hand experience?
What's your memory?
Yeah.
Of that evening?
I remember sitting and watching Raw as it was happening and all this shit was going down, and bouncing off the edge of my seat of holy shit, because it was just one thing after another after another.
Yeah, it seriously must have just felt like it's like you feel the whole world.
That's right. Things were shifting and you could just tell.
But you can send any of those things to our email at wrestlinghistoryx@gmail.com or find us on X, Wrestling History X. That's Wrestling HISTO X. We'll talk to you next week.
Laters.
Tell me what to do.